News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A date for the coroner's jury for the Fox Club shooting has been set. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. Congratulations, you made it. It's Friday, October 17th, 2014. Right now, the sky is mostly clear. We do have some fog in the area, and we have a chilly 30 degrees. Yes, it's below freezing right now because the sky is so clear. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Temp-Right Service. Got any plumbing or heating problems? Your furnace, I'm sure, has been kicking on. Call Team Blue, get it serviced. It's 728-1111. The Missoula County Attorney's Office has scheduled a coroner's inquest for November 3rd at a fatal shooting last month outside a Missoula strip club. The Missoulian is reporting the inquest will determine if charges are filed against 27-year-old Michael Gordon of Missoula. Court records say Gordon acknowledged shooting 23-year-old Christopher Heimel of Madisonville, Louisiana, September 1st. Gordon says he shot Heimel to protect himself from an assault. Missoula police say the two men argued while they were leaving the Fox Club. Police say Heimel punched Gordon through the window of a vehicle. Gordon pulled out a revolver and fired a shot into Heimel's chest. Witnesses claim Gordon got out of the car and shot Heimel when Heimel stepped back to remove his shirt. The lead attorney for Marcus Karma, Paul Ryan of Missoula, has filed his revised expert witness list for the trial scheduled to begin on December 1st. Ryan says the list contains only 4 names for now.
At this point, we have a criminologist that kind of looks at the overall scene of the crime and does an analysis similar to what a detective would do. And we also have a ballistics expert that will talk about the gunshot evidence, including the pellet trajectory. And we have some psychological testimony and so a toxicologist.
Ryan says he's still concerned about being able to impanel an impartial jury for his client in Missoula.
I grew up here, and I know this community, and I think fairness is one of the most important things that a lot of people carry as values in this, and that's what we're hoping to find, and we'll do the best we can to sift through it and make sure that we get the fairest possible jury for both sides.
Karma has entered a plea of not guilty to deliberate homicide in the shooting death of 17-year-old German exchange student Diren Didi. He was killed while trespassing in Karma's garage April 27th. Karma's free on $30,000 bond. State health officials say Montana has seen at least 10 laboratory-confirmed cases of enterovirus D68 involving children younger than 16. The Department of Public Health and Human Services says all of those children were hospitalized at one point or another. The Billings Gazette reports 2 cases of respiratory illness have been confirmed in both Yellowstone and Lewis and Clark counties, with one each in Cascade, Jefferson, Musselshell, Fergus, Gallatin, and Valley counties. Through Wednesday, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention had confirmed infections in 780 people in 46 states. Enterovirus D68 is a more virulent strain of the virus that causes the common cold. Children with serious infections have been hospitalized, and some needed to be placed on a breathing machine. And in a related story, next week, Missoula County School District 1 will begin discussions on how to handle outbreaks of contagious diseases. Superintendent Alex Apostle, who appeared on Talkback yesterday, says the meetings are in response to the outbreak of Ebola in Texas.
This Ebola outbreak is a little different, and I'm calling a meeting on Monday with various individuals. And the next step would be to sit down with members of the community so that if something happened, and hopefully it will never happen, but if it does, we all need to be on the same page.
A variety of different stakeholders will be invited to the meetings before the ideas are taken to the public.
I'm going to be reaching out, of course, to our nursing staff here internally, the health department, and potentially I would like to reach out to the hospitals just to make sure that we do have a plan in the worst-case scenario.
Apostle says there are already procedures in place to deal with outbreaks of influenza and diseases like enterovirus D68, which we have already mentioned. And speaking of schools out for students today. Some of them are using the opportunity to get an early jump on rifle hunting season. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Park spokeswoman Vivica Krauser explains.
The public schools throughout Montana are out for the Teachers Convention, and so corresponding with those dates for 5 years now, we've had a youth only deer hunt. And the youth deer hunt started yesterday and runs through the end of the day on Friday for youth that are 12 to 15 or those that will be 12 by January 16th of next year.
The youth that participate still need to use regular hunting season licenses and tags, but they won't have to deal with the competition of older hunters.
This youth deer hunt is only a 2-day opportunity. Then there'll be a week's break, and the general rifle season for deer and elk opens for everyone on Saturday, October 25th.
Typically, the youth hunt occurs right before general rifle season, but because of the timing of this year's teachers' conferences, the date was moved ahead. Montana wildlife officials have decided against shipping 145 bison captured from Yellowstone Park to the Bronx Zoo and other locations across the nation. Instead, the Fish and Wildlife Commission voted yesterday to keep the animals in the state by relocating them to the Fort Peck Indian Reservation in northeastern Montana. State officials had recommended a splitting the animals between the Fort Peck tribes, a New York-based wildlife consortium, Oklahoma's Cherokee Nation, and the state of Utah. The Yellowstone bison are considered extremely valuable because they're one of the few wild herds left that have no cattle genes. A weekend traffic stop by a Missoula County Sheriff's deputy in which several teenagers were apprehended with marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and alcohol prompted a message to area parents from Public Information Officer Paige Pavallone.
Your parents know what our kids are doing. So when they're 16 and 17 years old, why are they not home at 1 o'clock in the morning? Why are they in cars with people who are driving that are high on drugs and possibly intoxicated? And it speaks to the larger issue that we have to know where our kids are, who they're with, and what they're doing.
Pavallone says parents have to be strong and ask the hard questions to help keep their teens safe.
And I personally encounter traffic stops where there's 15-year-old girls, and when we contact their mothers or their dads, they have no idea that they're in the county adjacent to us with a car full of guys with alcohol and drugs. So we have to, as parents, follow up with what our kids are doing. Don't let them outsmart us.
Pavallone says the last thing any deputy wants to do is make a coroner's call to a Missoula County family in the middle of the night. And for the third year in a row, the University of Montana has been ranked in the top 350 universities worldwide. Provost Perry Brown explains.
The list recognizes those universities around the world that are really premier universities that do solid and excellent education and high-volume research and research that is used by a lot of other people. One of the areas where we excel and have continued to excel has been in the use of the science that is produced at the University of Montana.
University of Montana, the only Montana university on the list. Newstalk Times 610.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with our highs in the mid to low 60s. Increasing clouds tonight with our lows in the upper 30s. A mix of sun and clouds Saturday, highs in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13, your first alert station.